deliver your dreams.
Lee, this is the best day ever.
Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
If you are still planning, you are probably hiding. What does that even mean? Let's talk about last week real quick. Last week we went through on the show and we talked about, are you a done person or a done right person? Are you more concerned with getting it done in a time frame or just getting it done to kind of get through something? Or are you the person that wants to do it to the best of your ability? You know, let's talk about that this morning. Let's not forget last week's show. Guys on the screen, call in. If you are listening and not watching, I'll give you that info in just a second. Call in at 305-224-1968. Show ID is 856-122-1575 hash right on the screen right there. All the details. Call in, talk to me this morning. You have questions, comments, we want to talk. Absolutely. Get you on live. So last week we talked about done or done right. Do you do the bare minimum or do you go the extra 9 yards? Do you really do things right? And that had spurred from my dad's comment when we were kids and I worked for him. It was always, how come there's never enough time to do it right the first time, but there's always time to go back and do it again. And like I said on last week's show, that always annoyed me, but it was so true. Okay. I mean, with all seriousness, that's true. So what I'm coming to you today to talk about is a sloppy, messy start beats a perfect plan that never ships, that never sails. All right. Think about it. What are the traps here, guys? Okay. Overthinking. That is the biggest trap. That is the biggest reason for failure that you can find. Overthinking. Let's see. If I do this, this might happen. If I do that, that might happen. You go back and forth and you never take action. You just think about it all the time. Well, let's stop thinking and let's start doing. Okay. It's better to start sloppy and to grow and learn as you're going than it is to never start in the first frickin' place. Right? Okay. Research. I am doing research. Okay. I'm not saying go in blind. What I am saying is research can be a trap. Okay. Research is procrastination in a tuxedo, guys. Okay. Research is procrastination in a tuxedo. Take that one to the bank. Okay, what you're doing is you're dressing up procrastination. You're calling it research and going, okay, that's kudos, great, awesome. Not so much. Yes, being informed. Yes, being educated as to what you're going to do. But there are a lot of educated bums living under bridges. Okay, I've met some really intelligent people that can't function get their way out of a paper bag. They live under a bridge, or, one of the things is you go do one of the markets, go to the markets. Everybody's got a story of who they used to be, or, all this knowledge. And it's like, okay, where are you now? Well, getting by, living in mom's trailer or something like that. It's like, why? You're very intelligent. I used to have friends of mine that, the gal's dad, they were a married couple, good dear friends. Her dad was like super intelligent. knew every word in the dictionary, I swear, and knew words that nobody else knew. But this poor dude couldn't get out of his own way. They were supporting him half the time. And, ultra intelligent, but couldn't do anything with it. Didn't take the action. Okay. So what's the other trap? Waiting for the confidence. Well, if once I'm really good at this, then I'll start doing it. Well, is that not an ass backwards way of putting things? Once I'm really good at this, I'll start doing it. How can that work? I don't believe that works, guys. Once I'm good, I'll start. Well, how do you get good without doing? Answer me that. Call in, guys. It's on the screen. Call in this morning. Let's talk about this. Okay? So think about that. And you certainly don't want to wait for the motivation, because you'll start out and you go, oh, I'm really motivated the first 4 or 5 days. Say you're getting fit and getting out walking or jogging every morning or something. And you wake up one morning, it's cold and rainy. Okay, well, you're not going to be real motivated to go out and run in that. There has to be something more. You just got to do it. You're going to get wet, nasty, dirty, chilled. You come home, you take a shower and clean up and you go, I did it. Okay. What about permission? Well, my spouse has got to, my husband's got to do this recently. And, it was one of those where it was like hiring somebody. Okay. These are the times work, would have been a great fit. Oh, I love this. Da, 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 da. Well, the way things work for this particular position is, the beginning of the week, they work a little later into the evening, not late, but, it's not a 9 to 5er. And it was never put up as a 9. Well, I got to ask my husband. So you're going to give up a great opportunity to do something. And that was the case because your husband says no, or your wife says no. I'm like, wow, you don't wait for permission. Well, I want to start a business, but I got to wait till my husband or my wife says it's okay. Well, you'll never start the business. Okay. You might piss them off a little bit if you go, I'm doing this, but it's not like you're doing something wrong. If you're doing something to better yourself, something to grow, it benefits the relationship. Or I got to wait, till my parents say I'm okay. My parents say I need to go to, go attend college. I've got this great opportunity right now. I'm a musician and I've got an opportunity to fall right into this position, but they want me to wait till after college. Well, that opportunity's not going to be there. And I'm not saying education's a bad thing. I highly recommend education that's useful towards your goals of what you want in life. Now, you're not going to go get a degree in law enforcement if you want to be a musician. Sorry, it doesn't matter if dad and grandpa were both cops. Okay, if you don't want to do that and you're a musician, you go for your education in music. If your parents are, hippie musicians and you want to be in law enforcement, you're not going to go take musical theory because your parents were musicians. You're going to go take criminal justice in school. You see where I'm going with this? You can't wait for somebody else's permission to do something because it'll never happen. Okay. All right. So starting sloppy, it's kind of a anti-coach sounding thing. You'd expect me to tell you have your ducks in a row, your together, your head out of your and stuff before you start something. Don't just jump in blindly. No, I'm not saying that. Okay. Your first decision you make is one that you can live with for 30 days. Ooh. Okay, so this isn't, I make with this decision and it's my whole life. I got to stay with it. Sometimes decisions you make morph. Not sometimes, always. When you make a decision, then you take action. You're going to find that sometimes you go, wow, it's a great decision. Let me do more of it. Or, ooh, that wasn't the best decision. Let me adjust. Or let me learn what not to do next time I'm posed with that decision, right? Okay. So pick something right here and now, put it in the chats, call up. What I would love to get somebody on track this morning. Call in. I'll get you on track. We'll do a little mini coaching right here, right now, live online. I'm live on the air, guys. Seriously, what can you live with for 30 days? Well, you might be going, I need to start getting fit. My health is declining. I'm gaining weight. I don't feel good. I ache, but I can't go out there and run every day. Could you say every morning, I'm going to walk 15 minutes for the next 30 days, if you're not already doing more than that? Oh, well, yeah, I could do that. Can you do it for 30? Not 28 of them, not 27 of them, not 3 days and then fall off. Can you commit to going out and walking every day for 15 minutes for the next 30 days? I'm pretty sure most of us could. Unless you're in a wheelchair, then go do some laps around the lake in the wheelchair. Or down, up and down the street, whatever it is. But you know what I'm saying. There's always going to be somebody who's going to say, well, somebody can't walk. Okay, get it. Stop it. All right. Could you do some tricep extensions in your chair if you're stuck in a chair? Well, I can only do one of those. Can you commit to doing one a day for 30 days? Yeah. Okay. All right. See, this is the thing. There's excuses and there's action. Now, you might go for that walk every day and you might not have a heart rate monitor and know where your heart rate is going. And, you might kind of lollygag around it the first few days, but then you start to pick up the pace. And after 30 days, you're doing a little light jog. Oh my God. Couldn't do that in day one, but now you can. You see where I'm going with this? You start sloppy, you get moving. You pick a direction, not a destiny. Okay. You're picking a direction in life. Okay. You're going, okay, well, I want to be in a fitness contest. Okay, great. That's a destination. Okay. You pick a direction. I want to be extremely fit. And you do want to define where you want to go. You got to have the goal. You got to know, you got to be able to measure. But initially, you got to get moving. Okay. You can sit there and go, this is exactly how I could enter a fitness competition. Now you got to start moving. And day 1 and 2 are not going to be like day 90 and 91. Okay. It's just, if you stick with it, that's going to be a whole different picture then. An amazing picture. You'll be surprised. Oftentimes you find you far exceed what you thought you were capable of because we're capable of so much more. Get it in your head, get it in your body, get it in your soul. Sounds like a sermon this morning, guys. Get it in there. You are so much more than you give yourself credit for. Okay? The second step to this is you got to start immediately. Okay? Once you pick this direction, this destiny of where you're going, what can you do now? Okay? Action will create clarity because you're going to adjust and learn and grow as you do it. If you just sit on your ass and plan it, you don't know what the real world's like. If you just think about going for a walk every day for 30 days for 15 minutes, you're going to have an idea of what to do. Well, yeah, in 15 minutes, I can make one rotation around the park or the lake. Once you do it, it's a different animal. Okay? You start to get real clear on what it feels like. And maybe you get winded. Maybe you get a little sore even from doing that. Maybe you're totally inactive, and that's huge. But then the motion of it creates emotion. Okay, I know it's quite a play on words, but you get out there, you start doing it. Maybe you put on some music that makes you get into the groove. Or you put me on. Or you put something motivating on. Or you put something relaxing on to clear your head. I don't know exactly what that is, but the motion is going to help create the emotion, and then you amplify the emotion with music, with something else, with whatever it is that gets you really engaged to where you don't only get up and go, I committed to do this. You start to get up and go, I'm ready. I can't wait. I play my favorite song. Or whatever it is, or I even brew my favorite tea or coffee to take on this walk with me. That's your treat, your enhancement. Whenever you enhance the emotion, you are going to drive that habit in 2, 3, 10-fold. Okay, if you really enhance it, you'll do it 10x. Okay, so number 3 here, we're going to do what we call learn in public, or at least in motion. You're going to get feedback. You are going to get responses. Back in the day, never thought I'd say shit like that. When I was down in Miami, when I dug in the first time and took off the weight and the cholesterol down, this is a ways back. Never forget it. It was drastic. I went at it, very clean, raw vegetarian, got a trainer, working out all the time, boom, 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 just really tightened it down. And within 60 days, I made massive change. I mean, it was what looked like an overnight change in my body and my energy and my health and everything else. So, I had people starting to come up, and I either got the, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" or "Are you okay?" "Are you okay?" I was like, "What are you talking about? I feel phenomenal." "Am I okay? This is like a godsend. I've broken through this, and just look at this in 60 days. It's amazing." "Oh, we were worried about you. You lost weight." "Oh my God." Okay, but that's what we talk about, learn in public. I did this right in front of everybody, but they didn't see the work each day. They didn't see the clean eating. They didn't see the resistance to eating the bad foods. They didn't see I got to show up and deal with that damn trainer when I didn't feel like it. And Julia, if you're watching, that's not the trainer I'm talking about. This is a long time ago. It was Michael. Michael was my trainer back then. But the whole deal of this was simply, all of a sudden in public, it was like, pew! I learned as I was going and what was working, but all of a sudden it was like this overnight success. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh my God, oh my God." It was an overnight success. Now, 60 days was really quick success. I mean, I accomplished more than I ever could have believed. And what did that do for my belief in what's possible? That's what fueled all of this. The changes I made back then fueled who I am, why I'm here with you, not preaching just fitness and health, but just the ability to take effing control of your life in any aspect and really make massive change. And I'm sitting here, I'm getting goosebumps right now because there's stuff going on business-wise and that needs to up to the next level. And I'm like, I gotta do it again. This isn't a 6-month turnaround type thing that I'm kind of looking at and planning, and this is what we're doing. But I'll make some announcements as to what's going on. But when we have some definitives, but I'm like, no, the 60 days. Bam, knock it out in 60 or 90, not 6 months, not a year. What the hell? If I could do that in 60 days, come on, man. What can you do in 60 days? That's what we're here to talk about. Not here to talk about my accolades and what I've done and this, that, and the other. It's proof and a path for you that it can be done. But what I'm talking about, this learn in public, is, get out and do it. It's what it is. Okay, track what worked and what didn't. You do have to track. Planning's great. Planning's a very fast and course. Your planning map should not be so specific and everything else, because you don't know after 30 days into a project or a new something, you might go, "Wow, I'm way ahead of the game. I got to do more than stick to the plan. I got to redo this plan because everything's going great." Or you might go, "Holy crap, this is harder than I thought, and things are coming up, and and I didn't count on that. Now for next month, I'm going to count on this, and this barrier popping up, so I got to rechange." Yes, track what worked, track what didn't, adjust your map, your mass action plan, plan, map. Yeah, acronym, guys. All right, feedback is fuel, baby, not failure. If somebody gives you feedback, don't go, they said this and I must be off track. But if somebody gives you feedback about something that's valuable, use it as fuel, especially if they're like giving you stop doing so. Yeah, you've lost 10 pounds. That's good enough. Take the win that they notice you lost 10 pounds. Maybe your goal is 30, and no, 10 is not enough at that point, but use that as fuel. Let me show you. Or, you know, oh, I expected better of you. Well, let me show you. Okay, you expected better out of me this 30 days. Let me show you what the next 30 is going to do. But you're really showing you. But take feedback for what it's worth. It's feedback. Now, some feedback is amazing. It's helpful. It's somebody being useful, giving you an honest opinion of this is what I see. Other feedback is jealousy or fear that they're going to lose you if you get too good or you make too much or anything else. So just take feedback for what it is. Use it as fuel. Okay. If somebody gives you feedback because you know that they're jealous at work, that means you're making an impact. Make twice as much of an impact. Let them be twice as damn jealous. You deserve it. Okay. The fourth part of this is refine on a regular basis, pretty much weekly. Check in with yourself. What do I need to update each week? Oh, well, I'm doing really good. So let me tweak this a little bit. Okay. Or, the first 3 weeks of doing this 15 minutes of walking, I noticed a difference. I plateaued. Up it to 20. It's okay to tweak it. It's okay to get better, add more. What it's not okay is in that 30 days that we talked about initially, commit to something for 30 days. What's not okay is after 2 or 3 weeks, oh, this ain't working. There's a magic number to that 30 of sticking with it. In fact, you usually don't see a ton of results in the beginning. It's a very disproportionate delivery. You work really hard in the beginning of most everything. And it doesn't seem, remember that public stuff where, 60 days into making my transformation, the world was like, oh my God, what did you do? Look at this, your overnight success. Bullshit. This was hard. Okay. This was hard in the beginning and nobody noticed, the first couple of weeks of it when I was sore as hell and, starving and everything else. And, really wasn't starving, but, really wanted a peanut butter cookie and had swore off of some of that garbage. That was not easy. But nobody noticed. Nobody cared. Nobody even realized anything was going on. But the results showed through later. Okay. So, check in, tweak it weekly. Don't back down unless, something's going on. Now, I had a friend who had some rhombolysis set in because she was working out too hard. Okay, so that would be an adjustment. You almost end up in the hospital because you're overdoing it. That's another thing. Remember, I'm big about saying, oh, there's no limits. Well, there are limits in process. Okay, if you're going to run a marathon and you've never even walked much, for fitness, you're not going to go out and run 13 miles day one to start training for a marathon. You're going to absolutely tear yourself up. You build up in stages and stair steps and have a map plan for that. I mean, we do want to plan. We don't want to just randomly go out and, that would be silly. I want to run a marathon in 6 months, so I'm going to run right out today and run 13 miles. Now, I could go run 13 miles today. However, I've not been conditioning for it. I would be sore tomorrow. I could do that, but I wouldn't recommend it if you've never run before. Okay. You build, you tweak, you adjust, you continue to build upon it. The key to it is you don't want to fall backwards. Okay. Momentum will get you your masterpiece because after a while, that momentum carries you. And it's kind of weird. It's not that you're not putting in the effort, but the effort becomes, I don't want to say effortless, but effortless to get yourself to do it. How's that? You develop the habit, which makes it feel effortless. It's still a heavy duty workout. It's still X amount of sales calls. It's still X amount of, working on your relationship and, date nights or whatever it is that you're working on. The patterns are still the same. Okay. The stuff you're working on might be different, but the patterns are the same. Okay. So, it takes me back to a quick personal story. auctioneering. I mean, you guys know that that's a big part of what I do. Okay, the first time I auctioneered, my father looks at me and goes, we're auctioning off this place called J&S Wholesale. I was a kid. I was 12 years old. Defining moment in life. He looks at me, he goes, I need a break. I'm like, all right, let me go get my sister, because I used to do the floor. Yep, and write the tickets and stuff like that, but I wasn't on the microphone. I was a quiet kid, believe that one or not. So I said, let me go. He's like, no, I need a break now. It's like a 3-day long auction we were doing. Hands me the microphone and walks off. And I'm standing there looking at this crowd in this moment that felt like it took forever. And I'm like, I am scared to death of doing this. I'm like, what if I sound bad? I don't know how to really do this. And then I had the second thought that if I put the microphone down and run away, I'm going to look like a chicken. I'm going to look scared. Well, that was way more painful than how sloppy I could have started. And I started, and people started bidding to me. And, and I was like, oh, wow, I'm kind of commanding this whole crowd. Now, I was still inside. Okay. But I was like, hey, this is all right. This is working. It's happening. Okay. Did I sound like I sound today? No. Did I have the confidence I have today? No. It took years of getting butterflies before plugging in my mic. Years. Even when I was so-called a professional auctioneer and older, I'd be like, oh, I'd have that moment of butterfly right before you plug in. Okay, so not so much now, thank God. Enough stress in life. I don't want that stress too. So seriously, it was ugly. I'm sure I sounded like a goofy 12-year-old kid trying to rattle off a chant. Okay, but do it anyway. Whatever it is that you're plugging your microphone into, do it. Maybe it's your first video. Maybe you want to create courses or something. Do it. Come on, guys, just plug in and do it. Whatever it is, fitness, relationships, business, plug in. Okay, first time is going to be ugly. It's okay. You know what? You'll look back and it'll be defining moments, because that was a defining moment in my life that turned me around from being a horrifically shy kid to being somebody with confidence, because I had a reason to open up my mouth. I don't just talk to talk. And a lot of the world should learn that. Have a reason to open up your mouth. Yeah, it goes out to lots of people in our Orlando area and lots of people in the political landscapes and that. Think before you speak. Before you speak blindly, think for a moment. All right. So, it's like starting a business too. It's the decision to say, we're going to start a business and then follow through. Relationships, my God, you may have to have a hard conversation. It's going to be messy. But you know what? So was your first date, your first time, your first this, your first that was messy. But if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have the relationship you have today. If you didn't have the hard conversation, you might not have gotten out of a relationship you had in yesteryear that allowed you to have the one you have today. Or maybe you need to get out of the one you're in today. Who knows? That I don't know. You guys are welcome to call in and chit-chat with me. I'm over time as it is this morning, so I just ran over time. But you know what? If you're hanging in with me, stick with me. All right, I got a challenge for you guys, and I'm going to cut you loose this morning. What are you over planning right now? Tell me. Tell me in the chats. Write it down on a piece of paper. What have you been planning for, and taking goose egg 0 action or very little action? Okay, drop it in the comments. What are you going to start today? I'm starting sloppy with, put it in the comments. I'm starting sloppy with. What are you going to make sure you take an action on today? Shake on it. Let's go. Shake on it. High five on it. What are you going to do today and take action on that? Okay. Got a 24-hour dare for you. Okay. What do you got to do before tomorrow to prove to yourself you're moving? Your feet are moving, not just your mouth. Your mouth is moving. Your feet are moving. It's time to do it. Okay. Here it is for the day. Decide, start now, refine as you go. That's what today's been. There it is. One sentence. Decide, start, refine. It's that simple. Let's go. Okay. If you want accountability on this, get into Inner Circle with me. Monthly meetings all together as a big team, help each other grow, learn. Weekly trainings, just a warehouse full of getting you from here to here, to here, to here. Simple. Okay. Someone you know stuck, share this with them, guys. This is not the big secret. Okay. It's not a big secret. This is to be shared. This is the show is free. We do this every Monday morning. Inner Circle's not free, but it is very inexpensive compared to what you're getting. You're getting coaching with me without having to pay individual coaching rate. Yeah. It's available for anyone who's interested in growing their life to the next level. That's what Inner Circle's for. Okay. It's a place where you can come, be happy, be comfortable, with your dreams, learn how to grow them without judgment. Not judging anybody. Everybody's got different dreams, aspirations, everything else. What I do judge is if you sit by the sidelines and don't do anything with those dreams and aspirations and what you have to share, you're cheating the world out of what you have to give. If you jump in and you look sloppy or goofy, or you feel, somebody might think my idea is stupid. Well, you know what? There are no stupid ideas. The only stupidity is when you have ideas and you allow yourself to derail yourself and sit by the sideline and go, I wish I could have, should have, would have, or, I waited so long, someone else had the idea. That's stupidity. Stupidity is never taking a shot at learning and growing. That is not stupid. That is brilliant. Okay, that is brilliance. Stupidity is when you allow your own fears to keep you on the sideline. Let's not do that. Let's get rolling. Live with faith, energy, passion, always. And I mean, always live your dreams, guys. This is Coach Lou signing off. Have an amazing, amazing day.
Ready to take it to the next level?
Next level.
Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream. Ready to take it to the next level?
Next level.
Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream.